Alright, cool. Hi guys. So I came across this really cool pattern that I really wanted to share with you guys because I love it. I absolutely love it. So it is very easy to do. You're going to need yarn. Now it calls for the weight to be number 3 instead of number 4. I'm using number 4 and it's honestly not that much of a difference. So, you know, use what you have. And then you'll need definitely an H hook, possibly an I hook. Now, I did the I hook and it works a lot better using that one, but if you don't have an I, don't worry, you'll be fine. So, I'm just going to go over here and make sure everybody can see properly. And then we'll be good to go. So, for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to do the smallest one, if that makes sense. Okay, cool. So, there we go. Perfect. All right, the smallest one, it comes in a bunch of different sizes, and I'll make sure that the pattern is linked. The smallest one is 0 to 3 months. I made myself a few of these, so it goes the entire way up. So we're going to chain 50, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if I don't count this, you know I'm going to screw it up, so sorry. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Forgot to mention I am using my H hook. There's only one part that you're going to use the I hook. That makes it easier. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Awesome. So, we've chained 50. And then you're just going to bring it around. And now with the adult one, it is a little bit harder to do, just so you know. It says to link them together with a chain. Or with a slip stitch, right? Link the chain together with slip stitch. So with something like this, I would work in that bump. Told you guys before about the bump, right? So I would work in that bump because it makes the bottom stretchier and it looks like the top, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to make sure that this is completely straight, that it's not going to twist on me, which I'm just going to making sure that the bump is on the outside. And then find that bump and slip stitch to put it together. There we go. All right. So now you're going to chain 3. You're going to skip the very first bump and work into your second, because this chain here is going to count as your first stitch. So you go into the bump like so, and now this is what's called an extended single crochet stitch. Okay, so you're going to yarn over, pull through like a regular single crochet, right? A regular single crochet, you would just go all the way through. That's not what this is. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2. That's your extended single crochet. And that's what we're going to be working with for the headband part. So I'm going to chain, chain 1, skip your next stitch, go into the next one. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, chain. And we're just going to do this all the way across, and that's why I'm doing the smallest one, just for the purpose of this tutorial. I do have one completely done so that I can show you the next part without you being like, oh my god, this is taking forever. So I'm just going to go nice and slow so that you can see. We're going to skip. And once you get the hang of this, it goes by really quick. I actually did 3 of these last night. It was fantastic. Alright, I'm going to start to go a little bit faster now that you know what's going on. And I'm just working in the bump. If you haven't seen my tutorial about the crocheting basics, make sure you go watch that so that you know what the bump is that I'm talking about. And you can see we have a nice even edge, and it's not completely stretchy because I mean it's yarn, but it's stretchier than if we were just going to work in the top of the chain. And this pattern is really cool because you don't need to have exact numbers, which I really like. The person who made the pattern uses a lot of measurements. So it says, you know, make this part 2 inches wide. So if you're using a bigger crochet hook, if you're using a smaller crochet hook, whatever you want to do to tweak the pattern, it's nice and easy. I really like using the H hook for this one though. Maybe for a kid's one I might use a smaller hook, especially for the bow, and you'll see why. So I'm going to show you how to do the whole thing here. But it's really cute. Matches my aesthetic perfectly. And I wanted everyone to know how to do this because it's adorable. This is actually the first time I've done an extended single stitch. I'd never heard of it before this pattern, but it ends up looking really cool. We're almost done. I will show you what the finished product of the headband looks like. And then I'm going to end up finishing the one that I was doing last night so that you can see what the finished product looks like. My cat Salem's over here just chilling out in the sun. She's so happy right now. Okay, so we have one more. Don't worry, it should be that close, because instead of chaining and turning your work, we're going to just continue. So chain like so. Then remember that 3 chain that we did in the beginning? We're going to work, okay, let me get a little bit closer so you can see this. Here's the chain, right? There's a little hole right there. See if you guys can see that. Yeah. All right, so here's the chain. Here's the little hole you want to work in. So we're going to go into that and do our extended single crochet and chain. Then in the next one, you can see there's the big hole. You want to go into the smaller hole. You're basically going into that chain. Wait, there's the chain. You're going into the extended crochet. Sorry, the big hole is the chain from the previous row. The little hole right there is the extended single crochet. That's what you want to work in. So we're going to go in that little hole and do our next extended crochet and a chain. There it is again. Here's the hole from the chain. Here's the extended crochet. And you're just going to keep working all the way around. Now, I would use a stitch marker so that you can tell where you started. It is easy to tell because of this right here, but I still used a stitch marker. That way it just helped out a little bit. You're going to go until it's about 2 inches. Okay, so here's the one that I did last night. Here you can see there's where I began. And isn't that a really nice pattern? I think that is so pretty, especially for a headband. So I stopped 1 stitch. I stopped 1 stitch before my starter here. Okay, it says to stop a 1/2 inch before the starter. For me, that ended up being 1 stitch. Okay, so let me just take out my stitch marker here and put my hook back in. Now I cut it because I needed to. So once you get about a 1/2 inch away from where you started, you're going to stop. In the next one, you're just going to do a regular single crochet. And in the next one, you're going to do a slip stitch. And then fasten it off. Your headband is done. So this is why I was working in the bump. Here's the one end. Here's the other end. You can't tell just by looking at this versus this. If you did not actually make this pattern or make this headband, you wouldn't know which is the top and which is the bottom. It stretches the same at the top and the bottom. It's nice. I really like working in the back for this one. So we're going to go back over here. Now, the cool thing is you don't have to weave in the ends. They're going to be hidden. So we're going to take the longer of the two. It says to make an 8-inch tail. It does not need to be exact. Make it about 8 inches. And then I'm just going to wrap it around and pull so that it makes this nice little indent. I'm going to wrap it around a couple times so that it stays. Like so. Then I'm going to take the other tail. I'm just going to make a knot. And I knot it 3 or 4 times just to make sure that baby stays. And do it once more. There we go. Now, eventually I will snip these so that they're about that long. Right there. Yeah. Do I have my snippies? I do. Cool. cool. You want to snip them where they're long enough that that knot isn't going to come out, but they're short enough that they can be hidden easily. All right, cool. So our next part, that part's done, right? I'm just gonna set it up there. Now I'm gonna take this apart so that I can use this to show you guys how to start the bow. Just need to come over here to my pattern. I don't have the pattern memorized yet. I just started doing this last night. All right, so there are pictures on the pattern so that you know what you're doing, which was very nice. I appreciated that a lot. So here we go. We're going to chain 2. 1, 2. Now for this one, it doesn't really matter if you do the bump, if you do, like, it's a chain 2. So we're going to skip the first one here, go into this one, and single crochet. Done. Chain and flip. There's row 1. Row 2, we're going to go into that one single crochet that we did. Not the chains, but the actual single crochet. And we're going to do 2 single crochet, chain, and turn. Next one, 2 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet in the next one. So 1, 2, and there we go. You do want to work in both loops for this. 1, 2, chain, and turn. Now it does say to single crochet in the same stitch as the chain. That got very confusing for me last night. I decided not to work in the same one as the chain, just work it like normal. It ended up being completely fine. It's up to you. I just wanted to throw that in there. So next row we have 1, then 2 in the next one, then 1 in the following 2. So 1, 2, 1, 1. There we go. Chain and turn. Next one is 1, 1, 2. So we have 1, 1, 2, 1, and 1. Chain and turn. Now, if you want to make sure that you're doing it right, it does say at the end, the entire row 5 is 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are good to go. Okay, so we have 1. So we have 3, then 2. So 3 singles. 1, 2, 3, then 2 single crochet in this one, 2, and then 1 in the rest. Chain and turn. Then rows 7 through 10 are just single all the way across. So this one's 7. And there's 7 stitches in that row. Chain and turn. 8. Chain and turn. 9. Chain and turn, and 10. So this will be our last row of just the singles all the way across. Chain and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, we are good to go. All right, so row 11. So we have 3 single. 1, 2, 3. Then we have a decrease or a single crochet together. So in case you don't know how to do that, you're gonna pull through 1 loop, go to the next one, pull through another loop. So you're in 2 of the row before, and you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all of them. Done. Then single crochet in the next 2. Chain and turn. Next one is just a single crochet all the way across. Okie dokie. There's 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we are on track. Chain and turn. Row 13. We have 2 singles and a together. All right. 1, 2, and a together, and then single the rest of the way over. So that puts us down to 5 in that row. "14" is just all the way over. Single crochet, 3, 4, and 5. 15, gonna do 2 singles and a together. 1, 2, together, and then another single. Now, right here, it recommends that you place a stitch marker. Now, you don't want to place it up top like you normally would because you're going to keep working. But this just marks your place. So it says to put it around one of the posts. It doesn't matter which one because you're not counting stitches with the stitch marker. You're actually going to count length. So you just stick it like so. That way you know that this one with the stitch marker here, that was row 15. So now row 16, you're just going to single crochet all the way across, minding that stitch marker. And there's only 4 stitches. Chain and turn. So you're going to continue doing those 4 stitches all the way up, just single crochet across, chain, turn, single across, chain, turn. Those 4 stitches until it's 3.5 inches long. So I have done that with my other one here. So here's the part that we were working on here, right? And then my stitch marker, there we go. So I did this all the way up to where it's 3.5 inches long. Now, again, it doesn't have to be exact. If it's just under 3.5, it's fine. This is what you're going to use to tie the knot. So I did about 14 rows total of the 4 stitches, right? So now we're going to start on the second ear. So we're going to, first of all, chain. There we go. All right. Single in the first one. Then 2. 1. 2. Then single in the rest. We're basically working exactly opposite of what we did in this one, so that it matches. Chain and turn. Next one, we're just going to single crochet across. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And how long this takes you is really going to depend on how fast you crochet. Does not have to be fast, does not only have to take you a day or whatever. Like, whatever you do is what you do, and you're totally fine. Okay, so we need 2 and then double. So 1, 2, double, and 1, 2. Cool. Chain and turn. Then we're going to single crochet across. And 6. Beautiful. Next one, we're gonna single 3 and then double. 1, 2, 3, and double, and then single the rest of the way across. Chain and turn, then 1 in each across for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And we're going to do this 6 through 9. So that was 6. This one's 7. Here's 8. And the last one, a single across. There's 9. All right, cool. So row 10, we're going to do 3 singles and a together. 1, 2, 3, then together. Then 2 singles. Chain and turn. Now we're going to do 2 singles and a together. 1, 2, together. 1, 2. Chain and turn. There we go. Next one is 2 singles and a together. 1, 2, together, and the last one. Now row 13 is just going to be 2 single crochet together. So together and together. Row 14 is a together, and then do not fasten off when you're done. There's your together. Okay, so here's what you have. Ta-da! Isn't that cute? You can already tell where this is going, right? So now, this is where the eye hook comes in really, really well, because I'm somebody who stitches pretty tight, and I don't even know why, it just happens. So the pattern suggested using a hook one size up to do this next part, and it works out really well. So make sure that you're doing it nice and light, nice and loose, even with the bigger hook if you're somebody who stitches very tight like I do. And you're just going to go into, you see these holes here? You're just going to go into these holes and you're going to slip stitch all the way across. Oh, I chained right here. I did a chain, and then we're just going to slip stitch all the way across. And what this does is it gives the bow just a little bit more stability so that it doesn't curl in on itself. And it looks super cute. Another way to do this kind of would be to do a single stitch, but then it would end up getting bigger and it wouldn't have as nice of a point to it. So I really like that the pattern said to just slip stitch all the way across. It looks nice, it looks finished, it has just a little bit more stability so it doesn't curl in on itself. It just ends up being perfect. And it really helps to keep that point as well, which is what I really like. Now granted, I did say that it doesn't curl in on itself, and this one is. That's because I'm still working it. I'm literally putting my finger here and making it curl. Once you're done, it'll be fine. I'm just gonna go all the way around, and we're just about done already. That's how easy this pattern is. I love it. I missed something there. There we go. You can also take that out. Only reason you needed it was to make sure that you were doing 3.5 inches. We're just gonna keep slip stitching all the way to the end here. I'll show you what I did just to make it a tad bit pointier. Doesn't say to do this in the pattern, but these patterns, you know, they're great as a base. And then if you find something that works better for you, great. You can absolutely change it. Oops. Same thing with what I'm doing. If you find something that works better for you, go for it. Okay. So there's the last one. Now, you can tell there's just this little itty bitty bit over here. I slip stitched in that. Just because it makes it look nice and tidy. And then I went in over here and slip stitched. Now, with this tail, I weaved it in by just kind of moving it up and down. It's harder to weave in because it's not a single crochet. If it were a single crochet, it would be very easy to weave in as you crochet. If you would rather not deal with that, you can just weave it in at the end. Totally fine. Oops. It says to use a tapestry needle to weave in the end. I have never found that to be useful. I always just weave in the ends with my crochet hook. And I'll use the H hook to do that. And back up. And back down. Well, that's enough weaving in. I'll leave that out and then I'll just snip that when I'm done. So now we're going to go all along this side and do our slip stitches. Which honestly is the most tedious part of this, because you have to remember not to yarn over here. It is a slip stitch, not a single crochet. May or may not have forgotten that while I was watching my show and crocheting last night, and ended up doing an entire side of one of these bows as a single crochet. So I had to rip that out and do it as a slip stitch. Just about done. Oh, there we go. I really like this yarn too. This one is just a couple white and one gray. I think it looks really cute. I think this would look really cute in rainbow yarn too. in there. And then I'm going to slip stitch in the chain that we made at the very beginning to just give it that extra little bit of stability at the tip. Cool. So slip stitching is done. Grab my scissors. All of my light went away. It was nice and shiny and sunny, and now it's not. All right. So you're going to fasten off. Then I'm going to take my H hook again and just weave in the ends, or the end, I should say, into that slip stitch that I just made. And you don't have to do this a lot. Just an inch or two of that tail is quite fine. Come on, let me in. There we go. I think I'm going to do one more and then cut it. Good gravy. You know what? We're just going to cut it right there. It's fine. It's fine. So I'm just going to pull it a little tight, not a lot, but just a little bit. And then snip. There we go. So now you can't even see it. Same thing with this one. Pull it just a little tight. And make sure you don't cut your work. That would have been great. Pull it. And there you go. Now this one, you will want to play with it just a little bit. Stretch it out a little bit. Don't worry, it's nice acrylic yarn, it's not going to break. Okay, so we have our two pieces. We have our headband and we have our bow. Can you guess what's going to happen next? We're just going to tie it, like so. Twist it a little bit. Make it lay where you want it to lay. And there you have it. Look at that! Is that not adorable? Oh my gosh, I love this so much. I think this is just the cutest little headband ever. You can make it for a baby. You can make it for an adult. This one is the adult size, obviously. It is the adult size. This one is one that I made for me. It's beautiful. So, I hope that was nice and easy for you guys. I will see you guys with the next pattern. If you have requests, make sure you let me know. Get nice and close here so you can see. Cool. We'll see you later. Bye, guys.